Good afternoon, and everyone. This is Karen Ellie Means, your intuitive business and success coach. I'm here with our first of many sales chat. We are going to use this forum to talk about everything under the sun in regards to sales, marketing, and mindset, and giving you an opportunity to work on your business and get the questions that you need answered. So we will go ahead and begin. If you have any desire to get specific feedback on your particular business or any concerns that you're having, please jump right into the hot seat and we will have the time to discuss your concerns and see if we can come up with some answers. But until we get some brave people to step forward, why don't we just have a discussion about sales and the importance of having enrolling conversations. So, what do I mean about enrollment conversations? It's my belief that you cannot talk anyone into a purchase. It's not natural, and people make up their own minds. But what you can do is have the process of having an enrollment conversation. And that is having a conversation that discusses your product and services, and your prospect is in need of your service, but just wants to make sure that you are the right person to help them. So what does that look like? The first step in having an enrolling conversation is your mindset. Your mindset is your number one skill set needed in sales. The reason being is if you go into an enrollment conversation being fearful of selling, you're not going to sell. If you don't walk into the enrollment conversation holding your own and owning your value and expertise and establishing yourself as the leader in your industry, it won't work. So a mindset is very key. The most important thing that I tell my clients also when it comes to having enrollment conversations is you have to release the attachment to the outcome. Once you can release the attachment to the outcome, you position yourself to listen, to be an active listener and participant in the conversation, and to offer product and services that will completely serve the needs of your client without the attachment of, I have to get this sale. I need to make this sale. Once you have an attachment to it, that overcomes everything else and you forget about why you were there. So all of those things fall under mindset. The second step in having an enrolling conversation is uncovering the needs of your client. If your client didn't have a void, they wouldn't have come to you in the first place. So your job in asking particular questions are to find out what is the biggest thing that your client is struggling with. What keeps them up at nighttime? You also want to find out where is this struggle and how is it impacting their life, in their business as well as in their personal life. At this part or this stage of the enrollment conversation, this is where you need to let the client do the majority of the talking. And you're listening. Let them almost do a pain dump, if you want to call it that. You want to find out everything as far as what pains them. If you don't know what the client's needs are, you, in integrity, cannot offer your product or service as the solution. So the only way that you could position yourself as the solution is if you find out what the pain is. So the second step is uncovering the pain. And I hope it makes sense now as far as why in the first step you have to establish yourself as the leader. You're the leader You're the expert in the area of solving that problem. The third step is one of creating the vision. You want your client or prospect to really imagine and think about what their life will be once they achieve or get the results of their struggle. What are they going to be able to do? What are they going to be able to have? What freedom is it that that solution is going to offer? So you start here with the solution, with the problem, and over here is the vision. And this middle piece is called the gap. In order for your client to make, or the prospect to make a decision, the gap has to be wide from where they are to where they want to be. Because if the gap is close together, there really is nothing for you to solve. That's something that they can solve for themselves. So you want to have them create that vision of what life could be when they have the solution of the struggle. This is the fourth step, is where you present your offer. It's important to remember that your clients and our prospects don't care about the steps. They don't care about your program or whatever it is you're offering. The main thing that they care about is your results. That's all. They want the results, the solutions to their problems being achieved. That's what they're buying into. And when you make your offer it in the way that you stand up and with authority and a knowing that your prospect is going to say yes. And they're going to say yes and take that stance because your offer is now the vitamin or the antibiotic to their pain. And if in the second step you have done a good job uncovering that pain, when you present your offer, your prospect is going to say, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for all along. Where have you been? So I want you to boldly present the offer in a way that makes the client say and recognize, yes, you have been the solution to my needs. Okay. Now, sometimes it doesn't go that smoothly where they say, okay, what type of payment do you accept? You might have some objections. The most common objections that my clients and I had heard are, I can't afford it, which is usually a smokescreen. I don't have enough time, or I have to check with another person. I'm not saying that these are never valid objections, but if you've done your research and your pre-qualifications before you even got on that call, you would have already uncovered if the person that you're spending time with is able to invest in your product and services now. So if you don't have a pre-qualification questionnaire, I recommend that you get one. So you overcome any objections that they have, bringing it back to the point of where they are and where they want to be and what they're going to do in order to solve that solution. The sixth and final step in the enrollment conversation is once you have get that commitment from that client, who's now your client, no longer a prospect, but they've said yes, is you want to get them scheduled right away to get started. You don't want to have that momentum diminished. So send them your welcome kit, schedule their appointment right away, and get working so that they know that they made a great investment. That in a nutshell, and of course there's more deeper levels in it, but that is the enrolling conversations. It's a conversation. It's about being of service and focusing on your prospects' needs and not your own to be the solution to their problem. But in my opinion, at that point, it's a win-win, because once you have a client and once their problem is going to be solved, it's a win-win for both people. It didn't involve coercion or any tricky sales tactics. It involved the art of listening. So, is there anyone in the room who has any questions regarding sales, marketing, or mindset that they would want to work specifically on in their business? We have a person. Hello, Ruth Ann McKenzie. How are you today? I think you need to turn on, if you can turn on your microphone, I can't really hear you. Okay, if you type your question in the chat, maybe that can help, but I'm not hearing you on the microphone. There's a question that you can type in chat, and I'll be glad to answer any questions for you. Or you can try again. But see if your microphone, at the beginning when you came into the room, you had to say that you allow the microphone and camera to be utilized on your computer. Okay, on the left side of the screen, there's a little box to type questions. If you'd like to type your question in the chat, I can help you that way. But thank you for joining us today. Okay, we'll just wait for Ruth Ann. We'll wait for Ruth Ann to get her question in, and we'll keep moving forward. Okay, let's see. All right, Ruth Ann's question is, how do you know if a person is interested after the proposal is sent out? What if they back out? So great question. So if I understand your question, Ruth Ann, you want to know how long before you should hear back from your client after a proposal has been sent out, and what if they back out? So it's actually two different questions. So the first question, you send out your proposal. I only send proposals, number one, as far as if I've gained a yes after my discovery call. So if my client has says, yes, I would like to work with you, Karen. They've given me the reasons why they want to work with me. I've already told them my pricing, and once I have a firm yes, then I actually send out the quote unquote, it's actually my agreement at that time for them to sign. And I will put in my agreement, normally I will have a bonus that if they sign by XYZ date and their first payment has been processed, I give them an incentive to get it back to me right away. Depending on what your business in, you may or may not be able to do your business that way. Now, I believe that you are a visual communications expert, so your proposals have to do with creating web designs or memes or photography and being visual, so you're coming back with a package afterwards. I know you can't, for some reason can't communicate, but I would say, are you discussing your pricing packages while you have your prospect on the phone and getting that buy-in right then and there? If you are, then send that agreement or packaging out right away and give them an incentive to get it right back to you. Now, in the first part of your question, if you're just sending out your proposal package afterwards, which is, I would still try to get a soft yes before they see your proposal. And at that point in the proposal or on the phone, I would tell them, okay, I'm going to send you the proposal or the agreement. I'll call it an agreement because they're agreeing to what they're asking you for. And I will, if I don't receive the signed copy, and they'll just say, when can I expect it back from you? Give them, a day or two and say, okay, and if I haven't received it back, I will follow up with you within XYZ time. Let them know you will follow up and let them know when you'll be following up, so it's not a surprise. If in point that time you do follow up and you're not able to connect, I would continue to keep trying 2, 3, 4 times. After that, I would just let it go and I would send an email, say, at this time, maybe it's not the right time for you. You know where to reach me, and I would just put them on your drip list. It's the second thing. Now, this has to do with mindset as far as if they back out. In my opinion, there's no such thing as a coincidence. So, and it's my belief that who you are is what you attract. So I would first think back and say, okay, is this an area in my life where I'm saying I'm going to do something, I've said yes, and then I just disappear? Just examine that part of it. Number 2, if you have set up the process correctly in the first place, as far as only sending out the agreement once the person has said yes, then it should cut down on that. Okay, so you are doing that. Okay. Specifically, is it then, are you asking then, so you're saying that you do that, you're sending out your agreements when the prospect has now said yes, and now you're your client, and then they disappear. They disappear after they have said yes. Yes, some disappear. Okay. Some disappear. Okay, those that disappear, and it's possibly, and unfortunately in this world of online business, there are some people who are not in integrity, and they just don't do it. And sometimes, and that's why I've learned, I try to limit the information that I've sent out unless the person said yes. Unfortunately, it has happened where a prospect has said they were going to work with me, did not work with me. I sent them the agreement, and then I found out that they're using my materials. So sometimes people will do that just to see what you're offering in order to be deceptive, to utilize the materials on their own. So we'll just say that's not your ideal client, and we turn it up for the next one. We try to do a better job in the beginning, but yes, I agree with you. That is sad. Everyone does not operate under the same values and ethics that we do. So anyway, well, Ruth Ann, I thank you for your time. I apologize for that phone ringing. So didn't think about that phone, the office phone. So, but Ruth Ann, thank you so much for joining us on this first sales chat. I'd like us to find out how come you could not connect with your microphone and your camera. I would love to connect with you live, but this has been wonderful, and we will do it again. So until next time, show up, be who you are, and enjoy. Take care. Bye.